Kamala Harris's book, 107 Days, has come out. And
Yes.
for those who don't know, which I feel like everybody should know, it was about her 107-day political campaign. And you and I have both started it. So I guess this is just going to be like one of those ongoing things that we continuously
Yeah, for
talk
sure.
about.
For sure.
So where are you at? Where are you at in it, and how are you
Yeah.
feeling? I know there's some things that I've read that I do want to point out that I thought were very interesting
Yeah.
and unique.
Okay. I am just on the other side of her picking Tim Walls and
Hmm.
recognizing that like he is the person kind of vetting him and going through the process of vetting the other two candidates, and that whole experience. But up until so I'm around like August 4th, 5th ish, somewhere around there. Like so, DNC hasn't happened just yet. None of those things have happened.
Hmm.
And one of the largest takeaways for me with this book is that it is a really cool picture of what actually happens.
Yeah.
We sit so far away from like the presidential race and like all the things that go into it, and this feels like a peek behind the curtain, but it's different because it's a black woman, and you've never
Yeah.
had a woman presidential candidate other than black woman presidential candidate other than Shirley Chisholm. And she didn't. I don't know if she actually made it to the ticket. I can't exactly
No, she
remember.
didn't.
Um, yeah, I didn't think so. So like this was really huge. So it has just been eye opening to me to realize how all the isms actually work together to keep people in their spaces and places. And
Hmm.
the book really shows like how racism, sexism, all those things really come into play to a person's life. So I've been getting into it. I've been reading it on TikTok Live with people and talking to people about it.
Oh,
Yeah, so I've been into it. How about you?
yeah. Well, first plug your TikTok, since in case people want to
Yes, yes.
join the book club.
My TikTok is at Talk About TP, TALKABOUT TP. And so I read like 3 times a week, and I don't read outside of the TikTok space. I only read it with people in the space, so that's why I'm a little further behind. But I
Hmm.
think it's cool to let people like in on the discussion around what was going on. So yeah,
All right. Thanks for the plug. And
of
he's
course,
record.
of course.
I mean, I know it's Sunday, so so me telling y'all this right now, it's not like y'all going to tune
I
in
know, right?
immediately. But he's doing it today. But
I am.
there's a couple of things that I thought were interesting because I too am like right after she picked Tim Walls. One of those things, it was when they were talking about when Doug became first gentleman or second gentleman, whatever, second
Hmm.
gentleman.
Yeah.
Uh, and he had to. They said that he had to cook and clean. They said
Child.
they didn't have the second lady and now second gentleman. Those folks don't have like they don't
Like,
have
what is he supposed to
anyone like
do?
manning the house. I said that is crazy.
Hmm. Yeah.
They expect the wife to be folding, doing dishes and all of that. That's nuts. I also found it interesting that Kamala didn't have a strong relationship with the Bidens, and when she was talking
Yes.
about how she didn't get invited to the cookout up until like three
Hmm.
years in, I'm
Yeah.
like, huh,
Yeah,
that
that was eye opening for me too.
I think to me it sounded like just Jill didn't like her.
Yeah, yeah, and I think Jill, to me, from what I'm like starting to see of her, she is also a woman who has had to like scratch and claw in her own
Hmm.
spaces, and so Kamala coming in, one being black, but then being equally as confident, having the understanding, all of those things, and the lived experience. I think there was just not enough room for two women to have that
That's
big of a
crazy.
space. Yeah, that's what I think.
I don't I I foresee as we get further into this book that it's not going to make Jill look any better
No,
throughout. So it sucks.
absolutely
It sucks,
not.
and I appreciate Tim Walls for just being him, just being a nice
Yeah.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so amazing that like his elevation really came from social media,
Yeah.
and that's took all that into consideration, and he ended up on the short list. Do you think she was wrong for not including Pete on the top three?
Yeah, I'm glad we got here. I think this is a big conversation that I have to have like in a workplace a lot of the times too,
Mm-hmm.
that white gay men specifically don't understand the compounding identities of being both like women, queer, gay, and then have race on top of that. And so
Mm-hmm.
the response from Pete Buttigieg is very like privileged in the way that like why would you not think that I would be a good vice president? They wouldn't have elected a black woman, let alone a black woman and a gay man with a husband and child, when having
Mm-hmm.
children and the conversation around what a nuclear family is and what a typical family is always up for question. That would have made the race so much harder. And it is unfortunate that as a gay white man, you can't see the intersectionality that exists between Kamala's existence. She's
Yeah.
like four different things mashed into one, and so it's really disheartening that people like that use being gay, even though they are white or maybe not necessarily one of a minoritized group. They use that as their one difference, and so it's like, well, if I'm different here, this should be enough. We can't, like, race is something that we can't get around. It's salient. And so she
Yeah.
made an executive decision to say, I can't, I love you, but I wouldn't put you in harm's way. One,
Like
to
with
be
Mark Kelly,
ridiculed.
yeah.
Thank you. Like, that's
Hmm.
just crazy. And you see how people talk about gay people, and let alone in our own community, how they talk about gay people. So just imagine her running mate. They would have trashed Kamala and him at the same time. It would have been a no show from that point forward had she picked him.
Yeah, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
And I think too much of a risk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if the payoff or reward would be, but I think he also has his own issues, because of course he's not popular with black folks. He's
Mm-mm.
never
Yeah.
been.